All right, let's go over to the convenience center or the control panel here. So again, if your trailer is delivered or if you picked it up, I'll make sure that this battery disconnect is on because the fridge will be needing gas and stuff like that. So, and as long as your trailer is hooked up to a truck, then it is charging the batteries. So just going over this here on the upper left hand side of the panel, we have all of these indicator lights, and just lets you know where you're at, if you might need to fill water or conserve battery usage. This will all kind of give you a good idea of where you're at. So first of all, you have your battery indicator. Press this button, it shows all the way to full. That means both of the 12-volt batteries in the front are fully charged. You can keep on using your lights and everything that the electricity uses. You have some USB ports throughout the trailer that can be used to charge all of your electronics, your phones, different things like that. It's not the best charge, of course, depending on your cord, but it's not like coming out of a block or a 120-volt system. But I'll go ahead and show you those real quick. So the first place that you can kind of charge your devices, you have this panel here. This, of course, all of these outlets in the trailer, they're only going to work if you're attached to a generator or to a shore power at a campsite. But these USB ports, they're running as long as that battery disconnect isn't on. As long as you have battery power, you can charge your devices there. Now in the master bedroom in the front of the trailer, you have two more USB ports conveniently located right here on these lights on either side of the king-size bed. Right up here just has your little duck mouth, your little USB port plug-in. Now the lights don't have to be on per se. These will always be feeding power, so when we go to sleep at night, we plug in our phones right there and kind of throw them in one of these cupboards, or even if you'd like, put it in the hanger space over here. But yeah, that's where you can plug in your USB devices. And also in the back of the camper, in the bunkhouse area, you have one of these lights on either side. Again, it has a USB port, so you can charge your stuff. It's got one over here in the dark. If you got teenagers or whatnot, they can charge their stuff back there. Again, the 12-volt system is running all the time as long as this battery disconnect button is pulled out. Okay, so we're at full power for battery. We just went over all of that stuff as far as the 12-volt power system. One thing to note, you do not want the batteries to go less than half. So there's 4 buttons here, obviously 4 lights. Try not to get the batteries down below half or 50%. It starts to damage the batteries so they don't charge all the way up in the future. So keep that in mind. Go ahead and check that morning and night just to make sure where your battery consumption is at. And again, that system is charging anytime you're plugged in, either to a truck, a generator, or to the campsite. Moving right along, these other buttons, here's an indicator for your fresh water. If you're not plugged into city water over on the driver's side of the camper and your fresh water tank is full, you can check how full it is with this button here. Right now we've just come back from a camping trip, so I've gone ahead and drained the system so that all the water is fresh whenever anybody takes it out. So this fresh water is showing empty or low. And then you have your black and your gray tanks. Your black tank is anything that you put down the toilet, all the nasties. It's black, it's no good. So that is an indicator of how full your toilet is. And you're most likely not going to have to worry about that unless you're taking this out for weeks at a time. The gray water tank is anything that goes down the sinks or the shower. And again, you shouldn't have to worry too much about that either unless you're out for an extended period of time. because it's a 44-gallon freshwater tank, and then each, the black and the gray tank, are 30 gallons apiece. And so unless you're exclusively using the toilet or the sinks, the chances of you filling up either one of those on one tank of fresh water is slim to none. So again, fresh water, black water, your toilet, and gray water for your sinks. This is an auxiliary button, and nothing's hooked up to it right now, so it's just a pretty red color. Alright, for these other buttons, you have lights. They're all labeled. They're all pretty simple, pretty self-explanatory. When you do first get out, if you don't have water hookups and you do have fresh water in the tank, then you're going to want to have this water pump on, okay, all the time. You can hear it running. Right now, there's no water in the tank, and so that pump will keep on running until it reaches pressure inside the system. But as long as you have a full fresh water tank, this button can stay on, okay? So that's going to make it so you have water on demand from all your taps and in your toilets and in your shower and things like that. So go ahead and keep that button on all the time whenever you're camping. As long as you have fresh water, you should be good, and that just makes it so you can have that whenever you want it. The other thing, if you are going to be using any hot water for cleaning dishes or for taking a shower, that's this next button over here, this water heater. So that just means that it lights a pilot in the hot water system, and there's something like a 5 or 7 gallon hot water system that keeps it warm all the time. So you can go ahead and turn that on a little bit before you plan on taking a shower, or if you're going to wash dishes with hot water, then go ahead and make sure that's on. And then the rest are just lights. You have your main cabin lights here. It turns on all the main lights all the way down, and you can kind of decide how bright you want it to be. Go ahead, flip that on, and then go throughout the cabin and choose which lights you want to be on with that. And then you have the master cabin lights. So that's inside the master bedroom. You turn that baby on and it turns on the lights in there. And then you have the cap lights. So that's just the LEDs up on the front. It's kind of like a front porch light. You can turn those on. They're front facing, and gives you a little extra light if you're hooking up, or if you're messing around in the front of the trailer either with the propane tanks or something like that. You can kind of light that area with these cap lights. They're bright, and they make working up there more convenient. And then you have a porch light, not hooked up, not set up to anything right now, so that doesn't turn anything on. But you have your awning lights, which are the blue LEDs above the awning, for some ambiance while you're relaxing out front with camp trailers or what have you. That awning light will be blue LEDs. They don't take a lot of power, so you can keep those on as kind of a porch light in the evening. And then this auxiliary switch doesn't do anything at this moment. But yeah, just in an overview, as long as this little puller is out, then you have power going through the camper for the 12-volt system. And if you're going to get ready to leave or move and you want to conserve power, you can always just turn that baby off.